throughout all the stages of life. I will be reviewing medical concerns specific to women with epilepsy throughout her life. I will also be reviewing my personal journey with epilepsy. What is epilepsy? Epilepsy is a neurological disorder that results in seizures. Epilepsy affects up to 1% of the population, which includes 1 million women of childbearing age in the United States. A seizure is the main symptom of epilepsy. A seizure is the disruption of the electrical communication in the brain. There are many types of seizures, and they fall into one of these two categories: focal seizures, which occur in one area of the brain, and generalized seizures, which occur in all areas of the brain. This is an image of an EEG. An EEG, also known as an electroencephalogram, records brainwaves using electrodes. In Figure 1, this is a normal EEG. You can see the brainwaves are short and rhythmic. Figure 2 is the EEG of someone having a seizure. You can see that the lines are tall, unrhythmic, and they spike. There are many types of epilepsy, but one specific to women is known as catamenial epilepsy. Catamenial epilepsy is seizures that occur in relation to the menstrual cycle. This is caused by fluctuating levels of the hormones estrogen and progesterone. You can see in the figure below that the estrogen and progesterone levels go up and down throughout the stages of the menstrual cycle. The hormones estrogen and progesterone play a big role in catamenial epilepsy. Estrogen triggers seizure activity because someone with epilepsy's brain already has increased electrical discharge at all times. And when you have a seizure, your brain gives off more electrical discharge, which triggers seizure activity. Progesterone is inhibitory, which causes the brain cells to calm down and decrease your chance of having a seizure. Day 1 of your menstrual cycle, estrogen levels are at their highest and progesterone levels are at their lowest, so your chance for a seizure is great. After ovulation, your progesterone levels are at their highest and your estrogen levels are at their lowest, so your chance for a seizure is low. It is very important for women to track their menstrual cycle so they know when they could have a seizure. PCOS is another medical issue specific to women with epilepsy. Polycystic ovarian syndrome affects up to 19% of women with epilepsy and results from taking anti-epileptic medication. Symptoms of PCOS include ovarian cysts, an egg is not released during ovulation, and irregular periods. When a woman with epilepsy enters her childbearing years, she needs to be aware of how having epilepsy can affect her contraception. Women with epilepsy have a higher risk for unexpected pregnancies. Seizure medication can cause the body to break down the hormones in oral contraceptives, which decrease their effectiveness. Women with epilepsy are recommended to use non-hormonal contraceptive options. Another issue women with epilepsy may experience in her childbearing years is infertility. 1/3 of women with epilepsy have an irregular menstrual cycle and they do not produce an egg each month. Psychological issues that may also cause infertility include fear of transmitting epilepsy to the fetus, having a seizure while pregnant, and risk of birth defects. When a woman with epilepsy does become pregnant, there are special things that she needs to consider. The seizure medication may become less effective due to the additional body mass. Medication blood levels need to be monitored, and some medications may harm the body. In the 1960s, it was illegal for women with epilepsy to become pregnant as they were seen as unfit parents. And lastly, when a woman goes through menopause and her menstrual cycle stops, seizure activity may increase due to the changes in estrogen and progesterone. She may be recommended hormone replacement therapy. There's an increased risk for osteoporosis due to decrease in bone mineral density from the seizure medication. And there's a risk of bone fracture if a fall occurs during the seizure. And now onto my epilepsy story. I was diagnosed when I was 15 years old of September 2018 on school picture day. There was no warning. I fell to the ground and I was found by my parents unconscious. I was taken by ambulance to the Women and Children's Hospital and had an EEG and other medical testing done. By the end of the day, I was diagnosed with generalized epilepsy with grand mal seizures, and this is a picture of my 1-year seizure-free EEG. And this is how I found out that I had catamenial epilepsy. My mom and I tracked my menstrual cycle and seizures on a calendar, and we realized that my seizures occurred each month around the first day of my menstrual cycle. I was referred to a gynecologist and was prescribed birth control to be taken continuously to keep my levels stable. My seizures eventually stopped, and I have been seizure-free for almost 2 years. Overcoming challenges was something I had to do if I wanted my life to get back on track. There were many things I was told I couldn't do, but I found a way to do them. And one of these things was driving. I had to wait until I was 1 year seizure-free, and I'm currently scheduled for my driver's test. Rowing is a big part of my life, but I was told it was unsafe for me to be on the water just in case anything happens. I researched and found an automatic life jacket, this one right here, that I have to wear on the water. It goes around my body like this, and I buckle it in the front, and it inflates if my body is submerged. I am currently the captain of the varsity crew team. Swimming is something everyone loves to enjoy, but if I want to enjoy it, I always need to swim with a buddy, and I can't be in the pool area alone. Working at my sleepaway camp has been something I've been looking forward to since I was just a camper. I had to learn how to manage my medication based on the camp schedule, and I educated my fellow staff on seizure first aid in case anything were to happen around them. I never thought I would be able to go away to college, but I learned how to manage my medication. I maintained a healthy lifestyle with exercise and good sleep habits, and I've been accepted to all 10 of my options, and I will be making my final decision soon. It is very important to educate everyone on seizure first aid. So step 1, stay with the person and stay calm. You don't want you freaking out or anyone else around you. Step 2, keep the person safe. You want to make sure there's nothing around them. If they fall, they could harm themselves. Step 3, you want to turn the person to their side. It is rumored that a person could choke on their tongue, but it is more likely that the person will throw up during a seizure. Step 4, do not put anything in the person's mouth. Step 5, do not restrain. The body wants to move, and by holding it down, it could cause more injury. And step 6, stay with the person until they are awake and alert. When people come out of seizures, they don't really remember what happened, and they could be scared. And then all the people in person, you have a seizure first aid card, and at the bottom, it'll explain when you get to call 911. You don't always have to call 911 when a seizure occurs. Only if it's the first seizure, the seizure has lasted over 5 minutes, there's more than one, or if the seizure occurs in water. And if you're on Zoom, feel free to email me and I can send you this image if you want it. And for my community involvement, I help the Epilepsy Association run the Purple Pumpkin Project. Purple is the color of epilepsy awareness. So I invited my neighborhood and my friend over to paint a pumpkin purple and attach the same seizure first aid card you have with you now. I raised over $1,000 for epilepsy awareness and donated it to the National Epilepsy Society. Through education, self-awareness, and determination, I am able to seize the day and experience all of what life has to offer. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Morgan. So we have some time now if anyone has any questions they'd like to ask. So Morgan, do you have any other projects you're going to be doing, like similar to the Purple Pumpkin Project?
I'm planning for when I go to college to try to get the college more educated, if I can.
And are there like any associations in college or anything?
Not that I know of, but it would be really, because not a lot of people know how to handle a seizure if it happens. So for my safety, and you can have a seizure even if you don't have epilepsy, So it will be good for people to know what to do in case anything does happen to anyone.
And do you know how common it is among, like, people in your age group, like women in your age group to develop epilepsy?
I do not. I developed epilepsy out of nowhere. There was no warning. It was just, sometimes it's caused by like family DNA,
Mhm.
maybe other like brain-related issues, but mine was just kind of out of the blue.
Oh, so you didn't have any, like, family history of it?
No.
Oh, okay. That's crazy. All right, so unless anybody has any questions? No? All right, thank you, Morgan.
Thank you. And if you guys want to take more cards, I printed out like 40 something.
I didn't get one.
Mary Grace, you didn't get one.
No, right here. Thank you. Oh, this is so exciting. I got a little baggie with cards in it.
COVID safe, girl.
So for those of you on Zoom, you can feel free to just, you can leave my Zoom now and then